everyone. Welcome back to Adobe Live. How's it going? Shout out to everyone who's in chat today. Hello, Sam. Hi, Michelle. How's it going? Happy Monday. We are kicking off the week so strong. And if we're just meeting, my name is Katrina Torrijos, and I am the Adobe Express evangelist, as well as a video creator on YouTube and a streamer on Twitch. And speaking of Twitch, we have a very special guest today. Everyone, welcome digital creator and Twitch partner Katliente. Woo! How's it going, Kat? How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be on here again because these Adobe live streams are so fun.
Yes. Oh my gosh. We have Oliver in the chat. Hello. Oh my gosh. There's a party already in chat. Props to y'all for showing up today. It is currently 8:30 a.m. for both Kat and I, so quite early. But Kat, is this your first time like on Adobe Live, like on our channel?
This is not my first stream with you, but I previously did a LinkedIn stream with you. So this is my first time streaming with you guys on Behance.
Yes, Behance and YouTube. Awesome. Okay, well, please introduce yourself to the community, and also let's just dive right in and then tell us what you're making today. And then we can jump right into your screen after you do your intro. Sound good?
Sounds good. Yeah.
Sweet.
Hi guys. My alias is Katliente, but my name is Kat, and I am a Twitch partner. I'm also a TikToker, and I focus on doing streaming advice. I'm very passionate about helping content creators get started in the streaming space, but also just make content creation overall a full-time thing. Very passionate about helping content creators. I'm also very passionate about financial transparency. So you might find me talking a lot about sponsorships and finances regarding content creation. And in today's live stream, I'll be making a gameplay overlay for you guys for Twitch. So if you guys aren't really familiar with like Twitch or streaming, what a gameplay overlay basically is it is a graphic that you put on top of your stream when you're playing games. Kind of like how when Katrina and I are live right now, there's this like very cute looking border around us with the pretty backgrounds. I'll be making something like that for your Twitch stream for you and your gameplay, rather than just like two hosts, or I'm not a host, but two people.
Sweet.
Nice. Okay, so we got that screen share going. So diving right into this. So we're going to be using Adobe Express for this. So we're just going to hit get Adobe Express for free, and it should take you to the home page. So a cool thing that I really like about Adobe Express is its ability to remove the background for you to download your image as a transparent. This makes making these gameplay overlays way easier in my personal opinion, because you can make it so that the webcam border and your gameplay border already have no background. So all you have to do is stick your image on top of your webcam and your gameplay. Whereas if you didn't have that feature, then you'd have to manually try to cut it out or like layer your webcam over it. It gets very tricky. So I'll be showing you some tips that I use because of this feature. So first and foremost, we're going to create a custom size, and we're going to make it 1920 by 1080. This is a 16:9 ratio, and it's the standard size across all Twitch streams. And then we're just going to hit next, and it is going to pull up Adobe Express. I like to just zoom out a little bit so we can get, the full canvas kind of in view. Now, when it comes to making overlays, we want to think about your branding for your Twitch stream. So this is kind of like when people come up to your stream, this is how they get the vibes for your stream. So let's say you're like a very chaotic streamer, you're very loud, very chaotic, you always stirring up trouble in your stream, we love that. But if you have like very, very cozy, comfy like overlays and branding, it can be a little bit disconnected when people come into your stream and they're like, oh wait, hold on, wait, what? Right? So that's just one thing that I like to keep in mind when making these overlays. And in terms of branding, there's a couple of branded elements that we'd like to keep in mind, such as working with a consistent color palette and working with consistent themes. So, for instance, again, tomorrow I'll be making panels, and we want to try to keep the overlay and the panels looking very similar so that everything is very pretty and very cohesive. But regarding picking colors, there's this website called Coolors that I really like. It is a color palette generator. So let's say you're somebody who isn't very familiar with working with colors, which is totally fine, because color theory is a beast on its own. This site makes it way easier. We just click explore trending palettes right here. And they basically have auto-generated like a ton of really pretty looking color palettes. So you kind of just look around and find one that you like. So this one I've already pre-decided is a color palette that I really like. So this is going to be one that we'll be working with today. So I'm going to use the darkest color for the border. Or sorry, for the borders. So I'm just going to click that. And when you click it, it'll automatically copy the hex code. So we go back to Adobe Express here and let's go to shapes. So we're going to go look for a rectangle to make our border. Let me hit enter on that. And we're going to pick the rectangle with the border. So that way we can get outlines. Sorry, got to stay hydrated. But yeah, we're going to go click that and let's uncheck fill here. And if we click the border, we can just paste the hex code that we have just selected and bam, it automatically drops the hex code in. So a trick that I use to make sure my border is a 16:9 ratio is I just make it like the entire size of the canvas, because the canvas that we're working with, as we already made, is in a 16:9 ratio. So if we just make our border the same, like the full size of the canvas, and then we downscale from there, then bam, we have a 16:9 ratio for our gameplay. Because unless you're streaming in a ratio other than 16:9, typically your streams will be in that size. So we'll just, adjust the width of the border to the size that we like. I really recommend when you're making a gameplay overlay for your streams that you make your assets take up as much space as possible. So obviously it's more conducive for the viewer if they were to go and look at your stream and the gameplay is as big as possible. So sometimes like a quote, I wouldn't say mistake, but a graphic choice that I see people make that I feel like could be improved is when they make the gameplay border way too small like this, because we have to keep in mind that on Twitch streams, your stream, most people, I don't know how frequently people are full screening their Twitch streams, but most of the time people like looking at chat. So your stream is not going to be full screen, it's going to be smaller. So if the gameplay overlay, if the border is too small, then the gameplay will look really small. So we kind of want to maximize as much space as possible. And I'm kind of like eyeballing it. I think this is a good size. Over here on the right-hand side, we can also adjust the thickness of the border. So I like 15, or actually, I'll work with 10. I think this is like a good size where it's not like too big or too small. And then this is perfect for our gameplay border. So if we copy and paste here, we can kind of downscale this and make this our webcam border. When we do this, we also want to make sure, because it scales evenly, that we also adjust the width of your webcam border back so that it matches that of your gameplay your gameplay border. You can also use the arrow keys to kind of scooch the graphic elements around. So if you aren't like completely satisfied about where things are located, you can just use the arrow keys to move it around. I'm just going to play around with the sizing a little bit. One thing also for graphics that I personally try to avoid is overlapping line weight too much, because if you line up the corners here, right? So we're trying to make it as big as possible. So I'm going to have the corners overlap. But one thing just to keep in mind is if it does something like this, where it doubles up like that, it'll just look really thick over here. So something that I like to do is just try to make everything, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Just kind of like, I try to line up the borders, if that makes sense, as best as possible, like that. So I find that at least this way, it doesn't make the line weight look as thick. Otherwise, I find that my eyes are constantly drawn to that corner that is very doubled up like that. So now we're going to go back under shapes, and I'm going to click rectangle here. And we're going to make this our chat box. So I'm just going to kind of drag it up here. I'm not going to make it the full height of the gameplay overlay. This is just by design choice, because I want to add text above it that says chat. So I'm just kind of like mentally leaving space for that text over there. And we're going to click this fill color. And one thing that I also really like about Adobe Express is the fact that it remembers your color palette. So because I was working with this purple color, we're just going to go click purple. And I'm going to kind of line this up to the edge here. And now we have a chat box that is working with our theme colors. So this kind of comes into the trick that I was talking about when I was saying that I would like to download this without anything in the webcam and the gameplay borders. So that way we can immediately download it as a transparent. So this is a little trick that I use. So I'm just gonna go yoink the second, actually, I'll work with this color. And let's go into shapes. I like to just grab a rectangle. We're gonna make the rectangle whatever color that we would like. So pulling off the color palette, I just chose one of the more medium colors in the color palettes so that things will look a little bit more cohesive. So I just like to make a whole bunch of rectangles and just like fit it around the borders. And then once we fill all of the white space that we want with these rectangles, well, then our webcam border and our gameplay scenes will still be will be blank in the center. So I can download it as a transparent image without anything in the background there. And when we're doing this, we just want to make sure that in the layers, we drag the rectangles behind the borders that we're working with. So I'm just going to kind of copy and paste a bunch of little borders here. Let me get this one up here. I'll just copy and paste them all at the end.
That's such a good trick.
Yeah,
I would never think to do this.
Dude, I thought of this because I was like, how can I get these things to download with a transparent background so that I can use it without having to like actually mess with the layering of everything in my scenes. And I thought about this and I was like, holy crap, I'm so smart. I thought I was a genius for coming up with this. Okay, so now we're just gonna go and drag all the rectangles behind in our layers so that they don't double up. And now we have a background that is completely purple, but the gameplay and the webcam borders are cut out. Dude, I thought I was so smart for coming up with this, actually.
Oh my goodness. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, but the reason why I like doing this specifically is because I like adding things and graphic elements that frame the border, that kind of like overlap a little bit. I'll show you exactly what I mean. But I think it just looks super cute. However, if you add those and you cannot download it as a transparent image, you're either going to have to open up a program to manually cut everything out, or what other people do is they'll paste their webcam on top of the image like this. But what happens is your webcam is rectangular. So any little graphic elements you add will get covered up once your webcam goes on top of it. So you can't really get that cute layering look that I really like. So that's what they do it this way, which let's see here. We're gonna go under shapes here and let's go look up some clouds. So I really like celestial, sparkly, like clouds, skies. I really like the aesthetic of an evening sky. So that's as I work with such muted color palettes all the time. It's just something that I personally like. So I'm gonna pick the pink color here. Actually, yeah, let's take the pink one. Let's see how this looks. And I'm just gonna click this cloud. And again, we can adjust the colors here. So let's paste through. Whoopsies, did not mean to do that. Let's click this. Control V, nice. Oh, these pink little clouds are so pretty. Okay, so I'm gonna grab some of these pink clouds over here. Let me copy and paste another one here. Just kind of like hide this here. And let me grab a different shape. So we're gonna make things a little bit more different. I just kind of like messing with it a little bit so that the clouds aren't really the same shape or size. And then let's just go and lower the opacity of these clouds. I'm just gonna lower it a little bit. And then we'll again drag these behind the borders that we're working with. And then I'm gonna grab some more clouds and we're gonna make these the same pink color. I just like doing this so there's like kind of like a layered effect going on. It kind of looks like a nighttime or an evening sky, if you will. Let me grab again a different shape of clouds. I just like grabbing the different shapes so that there's like some variation within the textures of the clouds and how they're shaped. Let's make it a little bit smaller. I'll put this one down here. So again, we can have this like very cute overlaid effect here. And one little thing that I also like to do, let's just copy and paste one of these clouds. I'm just going to drag one up here. Let's make this a little smaller. I'm gonna drag one like up here and just put it behind our chat box. So there's some more texture, some more movement going on. But this is already looking so cute. This is looking so great. So now I like to go and add a couple of boxes here at the bottom. So in Twitch, there's something that you can do. We're gonna find another rectangle. Where you can basically pull live updating data about your stream as text and put it on screen. So for instance, you can put your total follower counts. You can put your what do you call it? You can put your like total sub count and it will live update on screen. So I like having these little boxes on screen for the text so that when it live updates, there's a background to the text. So I typically like working with 4. So let me just I copy and pasted a bunch of these rectangles, but let me try to make sure they're all like the correct size. Here, I will redo this. It's okay. Sometimes you just gotta play around with it. I find that with these little rectangles, it takes a little bit. I always start by putting, the way I line them up is I'll put one at the ends and I'll put one at the beginning and I'll just copy and paste another 2 in the middle. I find that kind of helps it line up a little better in terms of the spacing, because obviously we want to make sure everything is spaced evenly. So now we have these 4 little rectangles. So with Twitch, the things that you really want to put are like donos, a sub goal, and then you can go and add like recent dono, recent follower, stuff like that. So now we have our boxes for it. So before I go and add any graphic elements, I'm just going to go and add the text. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. And let's go under text and just click add your text. So over here on the right hand side, let me just go name this chat. I really like the way this font looks. I'm going to pick something a little bit thicker though. So let me go and make this, let's see, let's work with almost like a pure white. This might be a little bit abrasive. No, the white actually looks good. So the reason why I just want to work with the thicker fonts is even though like this looks good, I find that because I'm putting text directly on top of a textured background, if you will, a patterned background, thin text kind of struggles a little bit to show up. So that's why I like working with something thicker. Another really cool thing Adobe Express has is they have font recommendations on the right-hand side. So instead of you just digging through all of the fonts yourself to find something you like, chances are if you look under the font recommendations, you can go click show more and they will generate a lot more for you. You can kind of just scroll visually and just take a look at what they have. And there's a lot of really great suggestions here. So I actually really like this one for our chats. So I'm just gonna make that the text for our chats. And let me just use the arrow keys and scooch this thing up a little bit. And I'm just gonna copy and paste. Copy and pasting is my best friend. Let's drag this down here. So here, let's name this maybe latest follower. So obviously the text is now really big, but if I just hold on, we can just downscale that here, 48. All right, 48 should be good enough. So I'll put latest follower and then copy and paste that. And then let's see here. Recent dono. Copy and paste again. Oops. That's not what I meant to do. And then we're going to copy paste again. And then this one, I'm going to call this recent dono sub goal. And then let me just use the arrow keys to kind of slide this guy down a little bit. And let's copy and paste one last time. And I'm going to drag this one over here. And we're going to call this one, we can call this one like latest sub, like that. And let me just drag it down to line up with everyone else. And now we have all the text on top of our little boxes. So it's already looking so good. We just have the final step, which is adding some graphic elements onto here. So something that I really like is if you go under shapes, you can look up dotted line. I personally really like adding this hanging effect here. So this one is very pretty. We're just going to select this dotted line and we're going to downscale this a bit. So with this one, I'm just going to work with I'll use the pink color again, and we're just going to go and click that. It already has a pink color saved, actually. But I'm going to layer this behind our little gameplay border. So it's going to be behind like that. Copy and paste. Copy and paste. And we'll copy and paste one last time. And then we're just going to slide everything behind the borders in the layering system down here. So now we have this really cool little hanging effect that I personally really like. And the last shape I'm going to look for is a sparkle. It'll come in with this like little star shape like this. I personally really like working with these little stars. So for the stars, I'm going to work with the lightest color in our color palettes. I just want it to be kind of like a little pop. It should look like a star in my opinion. So let's just paste that there, downscale this as much as it will go. And I'm going to just kind of turn it a little bit so it looks like it's natural. And I'm going to toss in a bunch of these right around here. And I just like to
string lights. I like it.
Yeah. That's kind of the vibe that I was going for with them. I'm going to stick one, make this guy a little bit bigger. Stick this here. And then maybe I'll add another one by the clouds here down. Oh, maybe I'll put it up here. But I just kind of like randomly placing these little stars around because I think it adds a really cute little vibe. And then I also like these little ones, the more pointed star. Again, just downscale as much as it will go. And we're going to kind of just chuck these around. So there's a little bit more of there's a little bit of a difference in the size of the stars. So it'll have a different look to it, a different vibe. Place one of these guys over here. And oh my gosh, this already looks so cute.
I know.
Okay, we zoom out a little bit. We can get the full picture. And if you're feeling extra spicy, we can grab one of these little guys. Sorry, I just go crazy when it comes to adding these little stars in. I'm going to pick a more muted color. I'm not going to actually use the brightest color in our color palette for these little guys. I'm just going to go stick these like, let's turn them this way. And, oh, whoopsies. Here, wait, I'll put them here. And we're just going to kind of like, okay, this is actually not going to be as visible as I was thinking, but kind of the vibe that I had here. We just drag it behind the chat box again. I have too many layers now. Let's squish it down here. But now we kind of have a lot of stuff going on, but it's so cute. And this is all possible because you can download with a transparent background in Adobe Express. So this looks so nice. I'm very satisfied with how this looks like. So the final step that you want to do is once you're very satisfied with how this looks like, all we're gonna go do is we're gonna click the download button. Now you want to click file type PNG with transparent backgrounds. The reason being is if you download as a PNG, then the webcam border and your gameplay scene will be white. It will just be this image with white in these spaces. Whereas if you download with a transparent background, it will not be white. It will be this will be completely transparent. So it's going to click start download. And as you can see on my computer, it has downloaded this. And if I'm actually not mistaken, I believe, yeah, you can actually change the background color as well. So I can choose like solid color, for instance, and make the background yellow. In case, for instance, when you're working and you're trying to make an overlay and you do want to use white, in like maybe you want your borders to be white. Well, if your background is also white too, it's going to be really difficult for you to see the white elements you're using over the white background. So if you are planning to work with white and making overlays or anything that requires downloading with a transparent background, you can change the background color to something other than white, just so that, you know, it works better for you. And when you download it, it will not download with the background. So it wouldn't download with the yellow, for instance.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
all
that's
right.
so
And that's
useful.
my tutorial.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. I'm so inspired to redo all of my overlays now. Oh my gosh. And people in chat are saying like, Daphne said this is so pretty and useful. Thank you. Just downloaded Adobe Express. Michelle said she likes the colors. Steve said, oh my gosh, no guide rules either. And you know, so many people in chat are just vibing with what you're saying and stuff. So really excited. Okay. All right. So, well, with that, that concludes today's segment. Thank you so much to everyone for tuning into the stream. We'll see y'all tomorrow, I believe, at the same time, same place where Kat will make Twitch panels, I believe, right?
Correct.
So we made the overlay. Now we're moving on to the Twitch panels. And Kat, where can people follow you?
You can follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Katliente. Also on TikTok if you ever want bite-sized content creation advice, and you know, if you ever thought about breaking into streaming, stuff like that. That's the content that I do. So my Twitch, my TikTok, and my YouTube, same content everywhere. It's all Katliente, and on Twitter it's Katliente with 3 E's instead of 1 at the end. And Instagram it's katliente.ttv because I couldn't get the handles on those platforms.
Nice. Awesome. So yeah, and also don't forget to subscribe to the Adobe Express YouTube channel for more content and classes just like this. Thanks again, everyone, for watching, and we will see you next time. All right. Bye-bye.